Yeah.
Okay. What province better now?
No, Ontario. Toronto.
Okay. I was right.
Yeah.
Kessben.
Na edia de diwa be pie mu oh my god the one no pay.
Yeah, my mini kind and chair, your presidential candidate, Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, and
Kessben.
Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe, Omugusua, Omoboy Juma, to another profane, Michelle Mopa. Na dear Demi Abedru Dr. Bawumia Sampana na Yegusua, Yebo Hudaro, a charm fan sign say, yen to mean sign Koyachi, send a 2008 year Koya. And the Ghana for say, ye nim and I echo, and tis answer pano, and Demi Abedru studio Hanopai.
I see. They say more doors na mobile na.
Patron, I'm a chairwoman, or also any team, Wasam and Physics here, or more campaign.
What chairperson the team was Wasam and Physics here, constituency bear.
Amenfi East.
Amenfi East.
Omobo, your money can cost you also. Omako is a year, so a hundred ways. They say, more Wasam and Fia, Omobo Juma.
I see. What's now brochure ache? Honorable Yemo Juma Yemo Bibia. Ghana for sa hochre wokrom abacho ya ye kochi. What is the hope? A DNTia ene people like yourself any mutimba mufri Canada ba mubetimi ene Ghana for Ghana for edi nkomo enya aboto yemo say. Things may be hard today, but watching there is hope.
Exactly.
What is really the concern here? As I said, Ghana for a shed your more years. Now, one more the two about my part.
So over economy there, it is a sebi, bobra, a brano, ugusu boa. There will be times near mamubeti my ayading. There will be times I won't say BBA through. We hear Juma one saka near be a bedroom, maybe a crowd ketia. Need to make sure no, you know, now the be a soma, Mesosana, ye running countries where then the issues I buy after COVID, the near what I buy, even in spite of that, you know, yeah, NPP the economy no, from 56 billion that we took from NDC to 76 billion. If per capita terms, so okay, yeah, expand the economy by $20 billion US dollars as at the 2016 year fire economy ne bepem samri. And to me, what Reshemu say. We will get there and then we will be able to create the needed job our private sector and the public sector be accommodated because at the end of the day you can't watch the near you so where you might then I want to sky then at to be until we will get there. But what we have to do now is to make sure that we make the right decisions because in 2008 and there is no hope yeah, but Dr. Bawumia say, Obia Ghana ni bi abeto abama ni bi oba tax regime no ye be sha ase foforo. We are starting with one type of tax. Ye be sha ase foforo. Se wuntua or tax for so many years sa you know ye be papa free ho. Afi abrochire for we no mo so omo ye interested. Say ye ba ye be ma flat rate import duty. The me catch Ghana for say I want to the ewo but there is a hope ahead of us because the troubles na you face you COVID we are now getting out of that. And
Chairman, hope no anything. In the last 8 years ago, okay?
Yeah.
Ghanaians were in difficult times. I mean damning times. Challenges were there. The promise by said ye di nkomo ya no pay ya. Said there is a redeemer called Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Wadono na ede ensise papa ne ntotua eye na ebeboa wo man na ebeboa obi adada mu asetena eba yenyi NDC aban ni mfiri ho na yemfo mpanyi na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ene wo party no emra that hope no has it been fulfilled because ye ka say the same hardships na Ghanaians complained about 8 years ago no the same complaints and wo dey mayende so what has changed
so opeso who say Nanado economy no work start from free secondary education ye wo krom ha no enya abofra bia na etimi ko school me classmate no na ye me class captain ye wo SS3 ne father say ye makwan a on mafie ya ma me terms no on mafie nti on tua registration fee when tua this boy he say ot Libya minima dia oye wo Libya ho there but this is the situation that we were in. Oh ha me say me secondary school mama de me wafa say so party ase a mintimi nhwe. These were stories that were being told in various houses and Nanado buy then I say be burden a free Ghana force on a free education. Free education area, it is in a economic terms, it is giving money back to you, the parent. Because as can I wasn't out here 10 million, 20 million ado babeko school. Now you can keep the money with you and use that to purchase items away then. Open. So indirectly, free education is putting money back to parents' pocket. Any free education buy. And while we have here interchange, you be commission, you will poku ase, and run a committee, obviously land interchange. Agenda 111. Those say we haven't been able to finish all, but at least we finished few of them. We continue to build. I feel so. I'd be able to say free. I'd be able to say credit score system here, dear buyer, and also I wanna reverse back. Okay, say NPP time, and another buy any yetimi day.
Kessben.
Ghana card and I the ABBA. Ghana card means everybody is going to have an idea, and I want to spend time and talk about this because it looks like there's some confusion all over the place.
Me too.
Yeah, what SS? Me call SS. Yeah, what SS? There was a basic economic say Ghana problem. They said there is no ID system, and I miss me book. We say why capitalism survives in the West and fails everywhere. It is a per capita economy. The ingredients of a capital economy is an ID system. I bet back I say, Mr. A, any Mr. A, Mr. B, any Mr. B, assassinate that Kessben any muhano, a bra, a kwesi poku dia, na ne ID nie, inti si ya I bet back tracy kwesi poku se ni fie nie, honote, ye pa address okwaji loan or bank, ne ya wa bank timimu se ha, ana wote, a hono obakwa ye den, obakwa akwaje. Inti ID system is a very, very important. Sometimes who so be make a say and ID system 12 biana my and 12 biana my. But ID system will formalize this economy. Now my men not say kwa auto man. You better be who baby or na so by jebosia or bank good expanding the business lima yet media man. You better be who me mamia or in Shatra sebi oil fu you better be who baby or na say ye person or loan expanding it. Ne farm no employ bi a ono so betimaje no I employ bi
in the second term of NPP what can say bi some betie wa nti me bisa question and what so in the second term of President Akufo-Addo say ye kase but 3 major achievement of President Akufo-Addo ebeye dey. Now why am I asking you this question? Maybe because in 2016 3 things Anebamu win the election. 1, corruption. Okay? 2, economic difficulties and challenges are network system, and then 3, the promises are modema Ghanaians. These are the major things in 2016. Embamu winning election. More promises included all the flagship programs the major of it a free education. In the year 2020, free education won the new patriotic party the second time the election for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Why should the average Ghanaian, after voting on free education as a massive project what they buy what me accomplish it e dey ntsss any panisa free education eto abamamo in 2024 at the time the economic fundamentals of this country are very weak. The average person is telling you say ni nyumegu ni sikasem enye dollar to the rates of cedi very bad performing abysmally. Full or more earning than 15 cedis per liter any idea. These are the basic commodities every Ghanaian on the average. What is the promise? How do you rescue the people from all this situation?
So, what can be a question, say? Yeah, 2 Abanama 2020. No, then you beat him the agent so I can say NPP I want to start from there.
Okay.
And right now, President Akufo-Addo now or commission obviously lante intake phase 2. That's millions of dollars spent there, right there, and that created a lot of jobs for the people that lives there. Right, so
interchange create jobs.
Of course, construction. It has to create jobs, right? Yeah, but whether casual jobs or long term.
After the completion of the interchange, the person is out of.
But in economy, you still need casual jobs. You cannot always have a permanent and full-time jobs for sure. So at the about year and say, "Can we send year COVID 2020 year to Abano?"
Okay.
So from 2020 to 2022, we remove you fully from COVID, and that costs money. So don't forget that. We remove you from COVID, and that costs a lot of money.
Of which the money is, we are still paying for them.
Yeah, of course, you have to pay. If you don't have money and you go bolo, say you have to pay. You have to pay because at the end of the time now, COVID and hit, what economy na ankasa our life support so you have to borrow and save the people, because President Akufo-Addo say we know how to fix the economy, but we don't know how to save the people. So at that time, saving the people were the best, and we saved Ghanaian people. In America, more than 1 million people died. How many people died in Ghana? They were not even up to 2,000. Okay. So that is the good job of the Nado second term. That is 2 of them. Now, Nanado second term, so we accelerated the infrastructure development in educational sector, because free education brought a lot of people. And to say, baby, Adutrim constituency, we have a STEM. Some other areas develop commission. So we expanded the educational infrastructure in various aspects of this economy. And then we tried the Agenda 111, which we have completed some. Right? Yeah. So in the second term, it's not like we just went and folded our hand. But second term, the challenges that COVID did buy, and so it's something that we working hard to bring it down. And right now we are making progress on that, and we'll continue on that to make sure that comes down, and then we use that as a yardstick to create job. What Dr. Bawumia is saying is that he's going to train 1 million. Yeah, Dr. Bawumia can say training 1 million people with digital skills, and those digital skills will translate into jobs. What it means in say Kessben FM has say we here in India ya creative website, whatever those guys can be able to do, and that will indirectly create a job for them. I feel we will expand in the agriculture sector. You better expand our mining sector. And all these things, will lead to job in the second term. So all aspects of the economy, the service side, the public side, everywhere, we are going to expand in the second term of Dr. Bawumia administration. And that is the difference between us and the people that we are contesting with. The people that we are contesting with, they don't have anything to say. That's why they don't want to promise, because they have no vision. And NPP has the vision. And that vision is to take the Ghana to the next level.
Promising, it's on the sidelines of the basis of your economy. And John Mahama is telling you, sir, in the situation that Ghana economy, it is not about promises. It's about being realistic, about funds. Sika ye war in our coffers as a country. Ye war IMF program, so say. Ye kase ya ye DDP, okay? Debt restructuring program, ya postponing a lot of our debt, to a later date, from 2026, 2027, 2028, these are the realities of the life. Ye woman say as a country, say whether John Mahama or Dr. Bawumia, these are the challenges oba baimua obe facing. So in facing those situations, you must be realistic in how you are going to manage the economy first of all, and then also ensure say programs are what you go ubetimi at the aba. But you are saying say with the situation you will promises are you will be able to fulfill it should Dr. Bawumia become president.
Yes, because so okay, my misa and this is fragment. My misa the question. So okay, say he's being realistic. What does it mean by realistic? He's being realistic. Say, Oba officer, the monument and allowance are original. Oba se Ghana the country on Jana. Is that what he means by realistic? He has to tell the people of this country the truth. The truth of the matter, and they say, yes, we went into difficulties and we went into an IMF program, but definitely we're going to exit that program, and that will give us the opportunity. The essence of going to IMF is always simple, so that IMF will give you credibility and you'll be able to borrow. Right? That's the whole essence of going there. But the whole thing also is that we have
as it stands, capital market, and we are not strong. That is the fact.
But you cannot live all your life in borrowing. I don't subscribe to that.
But that is the promise.
You cannot.
You cannot. 2016. But you still took us back to the eye.
There is a better word I always use. You cannot spend your way to prosperity. Right? You can't spend your way to prosperity. So at the end of the day, we're gonna exit the program. And that will give us opportunity to get income from other sources and use that for the development. And also, Nuntiminka say, Ghana ever coming to you are not going to accelerate the economic development now. What's a year corner? And because of that, you're gonna fold your hand and say Ghana is in trouble. No, Ghana. This is not the first time Ghana has been in trouble.
Chairman, that is not the argument. The argument, say, what my promises? One, obey flat rate taxes.
Yes.
Okay? What it means is that the quantum of revenue I would generate.
That's not what it means.
The quantum of monies I would generate from the port, Ebeko from Kakra. That is the fact.
That's not what it means.
Because, and then the 40 container bar, ABM me 50,000. Okay, depending on what I have declared. Or China ABM me the bar because of the rates of the dollar. No 50,000 and me chia bosumi we no ABM bosumi ban because of dollar rate necessary idea. A bit me akobe 100,000. That is the current situation that you face, and that is where a buying a generating the sika bebre na a different. Now the question is that in making a flat rate, in ensuring say okay, all 40-footer containers move to 5 Ghana cedis, okay, just to bring relief to the businessman. No? O quantum of sika will pay, okay, ebeko. Again, you are promising a 2 years tax holidays for companies, right? True or false?
Yeah.
Dr. Bawumia air promising.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. So your revenue generation vis-a-vis programs and policies are what they to akwemu a will promise Ghana for no in the interim no for the next 4 years, you know. How achievable are those vis-a-vis comparing to situation that Uwomu say?
Yeah, my may explain it. So a casa or the flat rate, but it doesn't mean the revenue will go down. That's not what it means. What it means is say we create flat rate now, more people will bring goods, more people will participate in the port. And that means more income. So right now, what is happening? They say, scanner, nobody is shipping anything to the port. Nobody is shipping anything. So at the end of the day, the increases you are sitting there, you are employing people and they are not working. Nobody is shipping anything. So you don't get anything.
Really so currency or is it about the exchange rate?
What has that got to do with the port? So just right now, people are sitting at the port without any work because nobody is bringing the container there. Too much flat rate now. It will encourage people to bring goods there, to do business there, and that will lead to more money. So even though you are thinking about, it's like to say, Oko Canada near here, we have a dollar store. $1, you can get an item. But that dollar store, no, the idea is that people will come there, buy more, and you get more money. But stock exchange price is more than $100 per share. Why? Because people are participating. The flat rate means more people, more business will happen at the port, and more money will come. That's what it means. So another thing, so that will in turn actually increase the revenue than decrease revenue. Another thing, and that will give us more money. And also, if we benchmark, rate na wo Chrome Hana with Togo near others na any or more Hana. That means others now omuni port no, they will do business here. They will do business here, and that will bring more revenue to us, and we can use that for our development. And the flat rate doesn't mean we are going to have revenue shortfall. That's not what is going to happen. That's the impact. Okay, so also now yadikara launch the credit score system. So credit score system now, let me tell you what is going to happen with that. What is going to happen with that? With credit score system, that means now they are able to produce, they are able to sell more phones to people on credit, and that will lead to manufacturer also increasing production. So if you tend to companies or produce Chrome Hana, the credit score system will help them to produce more. Though you look at it from like say, oh, now economic credit, what will happen? Yes, it has an impact because the manufacturer has to manufacture to respond to the needs of the consumer now. Oh yeah, and India,
we don't know modalities yet.
We India, we
don't know which factors are going to be involved.
When 24-hour economy and because 24-hour economy is based on premises on demand. Only demand that. Why will you sit here and produce 24 hours when there's nobody to buy? Into your mom pass and for no family. So what is going to happen is there are sources of revenue if we invest more in the mining sector, if we invest more in our natural resources by saying the Natural Resource Development Bank near Ibeba. If we reinvest there, the money we can get from our natural resources should be enough to take care of it. And I always say this, right? We cannot continue to borrow when we have the resources right here in this country. Yes, we have the natural resources. Now we have to tap into it. We have to tap into it. Use that for our development. And that's what Dr. Bawumia is going to do. We're going to also, apart from borrowing is not going to take you to the promised land, because you cannot spend your way to prosperity. But you have to look internally and see where can I generate the income. It's not just tax income. We have to also focus on our natural resources, get some income from there, and then we can then use that for our development. And that's where we're going to focus. And then the port is another.
Why should the average Ghanaian trust is a borrowing? No, it's not something that we'll be focusing on.
It's not sustainable.
Past, yes, it's not sustainable. That is right. But in times past, you gave us the same promise.
So
if I remember,
NPP manifesto now, 2024 election now, a woman say you be change physical act law. No? Ama to say aban bia ni we to spend more than 102% of what the previous year earned, right? So what it means is say last year o ended 20,000, you're gonna spend up to 20,000. You cannot go crazy and keep on borrowing and keep on spending. So right there, that is gonna prevent people from just go crazy and just spending until the moon comes to the earth, right? So that is going to discipline us ourselves and give us opportunity to spend what we have to spend. But in an economy like ours, we have to spend, but we have to spend responsibly. And that is what Doctor is going to. That is what Doctor is saying, that he will spend money where we have to spend. And also, we're going to use the digital acceleration to make sure that we reduce corruption. Yeah, the digital, we were able to reduce amount of gold names by even in national service. Almost 40,000 names were removed. Yeah, the Ghana card and the core pensions, and we were able to save a lot of money. And we're gonna use that same method and reduce a lot of unnecessary spending. The other areas that should have gone to something better. So I think NPP is still the right party for Ghanaians to vote for, because we will give more scholarship to students that have completed the free education to continue the education. And we are saying to parents that free education means more money into your pocket. And the other guy has said, or no bar, obey review. What does it mean by I will review? Review means Akrana or there's a city on the way to Kubasi I wanted to mention. Akrana or emphasis Bechemino, right? Sakrano. Onu beja onu wom na wa mankra na mo wan kran no nko akwa na. So what do you mean by review? And abaka say nkra na mo call public school or government schools mo nkra say no omo de omo nko school na. What does it mean by review? I want to understand, because review can mean that we are cancelling. Review can also mean that we're reducing.
Mean say we are cancelling.
Yeah, it could be anything.
No.
It could be anything.
We are on national television.
Review will lead to decision.
Chairman, I'm saying say we are on national television. And to search propaganda. No,
I'm not doing propaganda. But I'm being realistic here.
No, I'm saying say review. The word review does not mean cancellation.
But review will have to lead to a decision.
And so what John Mahama so campaign a warrior, he has said emphatically, say free SHS has come to stay, and he will not cancel it. So why do you say a review means cancellation?
That word review, because review me say with a
who take a policy beyond implementation here, okay, in terms of project management. As I said, we take a stock back. Now we shall say, baby, my implementing policy neduno. The here me free me bebo. The here me deka who I echo yedim the bebo. That is review.
Okay, my example.
Why do we tell me
my example? I have been a business analyst before. I used to create impact assessment document all over. But uye impact assessment in we are you have to use that to make a decision, right? So review means that you're gonna review, and after that you have to make a decision. But that decision can also lead to cancellation. That's why I'm saying. He has
told you emphatically, say review does not mean cancellation.
Then he shouldn't say review.
He had no review. No, I don't know. I know this should not be a subject for discussion. He has told you, say review. No crowd will even allow the private senior high schools access our women students need to be part of the free education program. Now will be ordained a Babeko private school. No. You bet me relieve some of the public schools, our population are too high, so that the private sector will also be in business. These are some of the things I was suggesting. Now, but if you want to criticize that, you must not construe that to mean
now when you have on muka say so what 3 billion will you spend it on education? He said that. You were here.
Also, what 3 billion cancellation?
I'm not saying review means cancellation, but I'm trying to tell you that review can mean cancellation because after review leads to a decision, but we don't know what decision. So let him come back and tell us that after review, what decision is he going to make? That's what I want to hear from him, because review can lead to cancellation. Because after review, you have to make a decision and determine so we continue and now continue. That we don't know what he may do. So that is the chachana yempese Ghana for betono. Because okono review we no decide say I may cancel. We will not be there to say to him say untimi cancel because I know wenya power no. Sa chachano any yempese Ghana for betono. And that's what we are saying, that the only party that guarantee you free education forever is NPP. And NPP is the one that implemented it. And it's not NDC. And NPP is the only one that can carry on the free education agenda, because we are the only one who understand it. And that's why I'm saying that NPP is the best person, is the best party to continue come December 7th.
Kessben. Very well. Actually, many chairman Prince had AD in Kobo. That is the Canada branch of the New Patriotic Party, vice chairman, Ada Meneno AD and Komo Anope. It looks as if the parties and the members, in the diaspora, Womunina si former, Wobo Bagana, Womo Babatuaba, but before Bato the Bedruno, Womonso a year campaign, be a contributing their efforts to a year or more respective political parties. Now, one need in Crawford by free Canada, by Ice Womo, Wahudi Ecoso Canada. Yes, he is believing and promising Ghanaians said Dr. Bawumia is the HSS Ghana for Yinano, so eto aba edemano. Chairman, I know pay say Ghana nini bisa say Ochina or in the next 9 days may to aba menhwe den two major things I mean hwe hun to aba and farmer Dr. Bawumia in Kranshe no ebeye sen said ye be adipa de pooling center where we say yes, there is hope ahead.
So what we are seeing in an economist in the age in the past we rely on industrialization, and then Europe went into so many, and then we went into technology, and now we are in the era of data and analytics. Like see ameba hai metran u studio animo hape, and I'm so NPP manifesto me call WhatsApp AI and me bo NPP manifesto then it can, right. So this is the era that we are in. The economy is shifting, and that is why we are also trying to shift. And that's what Dr. Bawumia has been talking about, digitization. It means that the economy that we saw in 1992, we are not going back to it. We cannot have that again. So we have to also shift, because all over the world, everybody is shifting towards technology, and everybody is trying to develop that sector. I work in a technological environment, and that's what I got my living from. So the skills that people need to be able to transition into that economy is what Dr. Bawumia is focusing on, and that's why people are calling him a digital man. So if you want to see the next few years Ghana being transitioned to the digital economy space, making sure say
digital economy space na nkasa chairman then the woman I say Ghana for nya reshemo.
Okay, great point. But digital economy space, the woman say we're gonna put technology as an anchor in everything that we do. In everything in the government sector, we're going to make sure technology is able to face our corruption. In everywhere that you see, we're going to make sure that we give digital skills to people, and people are able to use the internet and everything to create jobs for themselves. Somebody can sit here today and create a big company that even you are here, you hear about Easy Pay and all those things. Those are companies that have been formed in Accra here. There is a guy I was talking to. He has an app that is able to test moisture ewo abroom. Ti say abroom di gubo tum na se besa ya. That is how the industrial revolution is shifting towards now. So what we are saying is Dr. Mamun Bawumia is going to continue on the digital agenda of this country, making sure that we give technological skills to people, and people are able to use that to create jobs for themselves, their family, and the economy. So that is one thing that, and then we're going to also expand on infrastructure. We're going to continue to complete the agenda 111 that we started in President Akufo-Addo time. We're going to also make sure, say, the dialysis and the cancer care near ye abeka and HIS no. And this a way yare na say dialysis and now your sickle cell and HIS betima day. Those are the two key things that I think that people should look on, and then we're gonna make sure that we add more infrastructure to the educational sector so that the free education can continue. And then on the tertiary side, we're gonna support more people to go to tertiary. So that is why you have to vote for NPP. Voting for NPP means that we're gonna be physically responsible to you, the Ghanaian people. We're gonna make sure that we do not spend our way out of what we don't have to spend.
But
and we're gonna.
You see, Chairman, I'm tempted to ask you the questions because 2016. President Akufo-Addo was clear. In 2017, first statement, President Akufo-Addo make here Ghana for nyina. The question is that mu borrow ya to time your DP was over 100%.
I know they say it's because of COVID.
I'm coming. The question is that even before COVID, you were still borrowing. Oko bond market, oko capital market, eco response, people were questioning you. The experts were questioning you. Say the levels of borrowing na more kono. It will lead to a situation. I ain't mean savage the situation on our hands. Okay, more promising yourself. You will move this economy from taxation to production. Economy will be more productive. Now you are promising us again. You will not spend beyond your means. Yet you are the same person in the last 8 years, was spending beyond your means. So how do we salvage the situation?
So let me tell you something.
Dr. Bawumia was part of the economic management team. Yes. Why are we here at this point?
It is only.
And what is the miracle? A bit changes situation.
They always say this, that it is only someone going forward, right? Okay. We've been in office for 8 years, and we've seen where we've done better and where we could have done better. And we're gonna build on that, right? Because everybody makes a mistake. So because of COVID, we might have make some decisions that maybe it hasn't gone well for the Ghanaian people, but we've learned from that, and we are going forward to make sure that we fix everything that came as a result of the impact of COVID. And we're making sure that the war in the Ukraine and everything that has external shock now come to the economy, we're going to make sure that we build on that. And building on that means that we will have to be physically disciplined, and we have to make sure that we spend responsibly. And the things that we spend on should be things that we spend that will bring us something, not just spending for spending's sake. And that is why I am afraid the other people that we are competing with, the almost spending part in the crowd, they know you're dangerous change. Whatever has happened.
Yes, but the John Mahama administration 107% of your GDP equaling up to your debt. He didn't do that. Or the financial fiscal law when you are going beyond your budget, spending beyond your budget, and the experts were cautioning you, you didn't listen. Ken Oforiatta kept spending. At the end of the day, he promised I won't call IMF. You took us to IMF, but here I don't know ensure. Chairman, finally, how will you fight corruption? Most digitization, and digitization.
Hang on.
You mentioned it.
Okay, maybe a process improvement guy. Wait. Okay,
digitization, a quite best on a model boy. Ma, Yesika and Crofo, we ministries in the idea, Nina Swati. Because we are because all data general no aka. There are a lot of funds we are unable to account for. Be now so honoma misappropriation, embezzlement. Obi oha with this candidate in some boom keke. Ni akajenis won't cover don family. So how are we going to make sure that digitization will help us to curb some of these issues?
So the reason why digitization will help you to curb some of these, they Ghana card call a Senate. They call National Service. 40,000 names were removed. But apart from that, that's not even my whole thing. My whole idea is, and that's my personal idea. My whole idea is that say obiya corruption, right? Not see who say ha corruption or ha. We shouldn't just use the law to solve the problem. We have to use process. Because obefa bibia onam kwan bi so na ekoye den ekofai. So we have to analyze our kwan and remove it. That's a very important thing that is missing in the way we fight corruption here.
Okay.
So obi befa on process bi so obi ne sanye obi ne ye say. And also another thing I think we can also do, and then we reduce money, is that in this country, especially the people in the public sector, they still collect they still collect money for going to meeting. But meeting 8 times a day, but nobody pays me for attending meetings, right? It's part of my salary. It's only my salary that I get. To me, there is a straight away yeji meeting na ye connect allowance na ye jeno. Na say who to na say who say weekend be no one say meeting work in her. Na ye corner say ye be ma week akra to ho na o dia ko weekend. So be free meeting. Right? So be free. And to avoid anything, no. So that's why we are not saying that only the digital will remove everything, but the digital will reduce it to a minimum level. Okay. If you automate all the process now, and they are not able to use it, it will reduce corruption to a minimum level. But where I want Ghana to get to is to make sure that they are not only follow the law, but they are using process improvement to remove some of these things from there. And I believe that, and I have a faith in Dr. Bawumia that he will do, and he will lead Ghana to the promised land.
1 minute, only Ghana for Nkasa.
Yeah, Ghana for Yadmase. I went to a money year to the last 4. And we were able to protect you because your life was the most important. We have to take people died, but China number, but in protect you, and less than 2,000 people died. So faith in now when difficult now you the same way we're gonna protect you the next 4 years. I know that there had been some difficulties. Now difficulties in so no amane de ahotira de aba, but that is what Dr. Bawumia the right people to Dr. Bawumia ne Matthew and a while and person what to buy a day. Echo, Yadamase.